You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on your Wednesday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Across Montana tonight, the Boger Park shell in Bozeman coming to life once again after it collapsed last winter due to snow. We'll show you the progress. Plus, Yellowstone National Park gearing up for another winter season. We'll have details on what you need to know. But first, a suspect taken into custody in Billings tonight after a 4-hour standoff with police. That standoff in South Billings came to an end after the SWAT team deployed tear gas and pulled the suspect from the home. Tonight, 36-year-old Darren Whiteman is being held at the Yellowstone County Jail on $250,000 bond, facing a felony robbery charge. Now, the standoff started around 12:30 today. As you can see, a very large police presence gathered at the trailer park on Maloney Lane near its intersection with Story Road. Now, Billings police, firefighters, and AMR ambulance personnel were on the scene for several hours. Billings Police Captain Neil Lawrence says Whiteman was the only one inside. A California physician wanted for attempted murder and attempted child abduction was arrested in Whitefish early this morning. 55-year-old Dr. Teresa Colossi of San Jose was taken into custody by the Whitefish Police Department and members of the Northwest Drug Task Force on a $1 million warrant. The Santa Barbara Sheriff's Department says the orthopedic surgeon had assaulted a court-appointed observer during a supervised visit with her child. Now, the observer was seriously injured, and Colossi then attempted to abduct the child, but it was unsuccessful. The investigation led authorities to Whitefish, and after a brief surveillance, Colossi was arrested. Well, after a week-long trial, a Bozeman jury found Joseph DeWise guilty of killing his wife. Now, during those 7 days, the court heard from investigators, neighbors, Paul DeWise's children, and even the defendant himself. As MTN's Cody Boyer reports tonight, those who oversaw the case say this impact will be felt for a long time.
To the charge of deliberate homicide of Lauren DeWise, guilty.
It was very emotional for them and everything that they went through.
To Chief Prosecutor Eric Kitzmiller, it's a result of nearly 2 years of teamwork.
Without the cooperation and communication between those different agencies, something like this could not have been done.
Kitzmiller says the burden of proof was the first hurdle, from the audio and videotapes to the recovered gun, the bullets found in the home where Lauren was found dead and Ashley Van Hemert was found badly injured. He adds Van Hemert's recovery is inspirational.
When you see the struggles that Ashley has been through and the progress that she has made over the past few months to try and begin the road to recovery, she's able to walk up to the witness stand and that she's able to articulate what she can recall that happened that evening and that she's able to face the offender in this particular case. It was very powerful.
Kitzmiller says domestic violence like this case is a growing problem in the Gallatin Valley, something the attorney's office aims to curb.
Coming forward is not easy. That there is a degree of manipulation and control that the offender has exerted over those people.
And Van Hemert wasn't alone. DeWise's kids, Natalie and Joseph DeWise Jr., had both spoken to a silent courtroom before their father, now convicted of shooting and killing their stepmother, did so himself.
I have been falsely accused here. I didn't do it.
They were very brave in coming forward, and it was just part of the process of them getting out from underneath of his influence.
In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Thanks, Cody. Now, DeWise's sentencing is set for February 4th of 2020. Well, Northwestern Energy says it still plans to go out for bids to acquire even more power for its portfolio. This after the company announced yesterday its intention to add 185 megawatts of power from Colstrip. Northwestern VP John Hines says the company will ask for bids next month for 200 to 250 megawatts of power. It's all part of Northwestern's long-term plan to secure an additional power to serve its 370,000 Montana electric customers. Now, the company says it wants to reduce the need to buy power on the open market. However, no word yet on what this additional power may cost Montana consumers. Critics of the plan say it's biased toward acquiring more fossil fuel resources such as natural gas plants. But Hines says Northwestern will use a third party to evaluate the bids.
We won't even see the bids or be interacting with bidders until the very final group is selected, when they'll provide the top tier, top 3 or 4 resources perhaps that they have evaluated and chosen. So it truly is an independent process.
Now, Northwestern will make a final decision on which bids to choose. Those bids then go before the Montana Public Service Commission for review and approval. Well, the Missoula Streets Division says it gets constant complaints about snow removal every year. So this year, crews are hoping to ease some of that tension. MTN's Katie Miller shows us how.
While there's barely any snow on the ground in Missoula, these snowplows here at the Streets Division are ready to go. This year, residents will be happy to hear that they're even expanding the route to include residential neighborhoods. Last year, the Missoula City Council approved extended resources for the Streets Division, allowing it to buy more plows and hire more employees.
Okay.
Deputy Director Brian Hensel says the neighborhood streets are a point of contention.
This is something that's been a source of scrutiny for us for years.
There are 135 miles of residential streets in Missoula. Hensel says due to a lack of resources in the past, the plows were usually unable to hit the neighborhoods.
We've always had to wait till all the priorities were done, then we move into residentials. So it's going to be a definite improvement.
The street priorities are based on traffic volume, hill steepness, public transit routes, and closeness to schools and businesses. But now the neighborhoods aren't last on the list because the division has 5 new pickups with snowplows and sanders specifically for those areas. They will be deployed from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. the same day as a snow event.
It's going to be a huge learning experience for us, and we are welcome to accept input from the citizens, from council, administration, whatever. All we want to do is improve and get as high a level of service as possible.
The city website will post an updated map with the new routes in the coming days. In Missoula, Katie Miller, MTN News.
Thanks, Katie. And a reminder, Missoula residents are still responsible to clear the sidewalks in front of their homes. Well, speaking of winter weather, Yellowstone National Park's winter season opens this coming Sunday at 8 a.m. The park's interior roads will open for travel by commercially guided snowmobiles and snow coaches from the north, west, and south entrances. Yellowstone offers a variety of winter activities, including cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, and ranger-led programs. Now, visitors with the proper permits are also able to take non-commercially guided snowmobile trips. Now, here's a look at the visitor services open this weekend. The Old Faithful Education Center, Grill, Gift Shop, and Ski Shop open Sunday. Then Monday, the Old Faithful Snow Lodge and Cabins open. In Mammoth, the Mammoth Hotel, Dining Room, Barista Bar, and Gift Shop also open Sunday. Visitors are reminded that due to Yellowstone's unpredictable winters, road closures or delays can happen with little or no warning. Now, park visitors are advised to carry their own emergency survival equipment and be prepared for extreme cold. And as for the East Entrance Road over Sylvan Pass, it remains closed to oversnow travel until Sunday, December 22nd. And a reminder, the entire road from Gardner to Cook City is open year-round. Well, former Montana Solicitor General Lawrence Van Dyke was confirmed today by the U.S. Senate to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The vote to confirm Van Dyke was 51-44, with Montana Senators Jon Tester and Steve Daines on opposite sides. Daines voting in favor, while Senator Tester actually took to the Senate floor to oppose the confirmation, criticizing Van Dyke's lack of experience and poor work ethic. President Donald Trump nominated Van Dyke for the lifelong judgeship this past October. Van Dyke stepped down as Montana Solicitor General earlier this year when he joined the U.S. Justice Department as Deputy Assistant Attorney General. Now, Van Dyke joins 28 other judges on the Ninth Circuit. He's expected to maintain his chambers in Las Vegas or Reno, Nevada. Well, the shuttered Shopko building on Billings West End has a new tenant. At Home, a national home decor retail chain, plans to put its first Montana store at 905 24th Street West. That's right next to the Costco. Now, the Texas-based retailer filed city building permits last week for a $2.6 million remodel of that building. The 100,000 square foot space has been vacant since this summer when Shopko closed all remaining stores nationwide. At Home has 200 stores across the country and provides a broad assortment of products, including furniture, garden items, and housewares. The company has opened 40 new stores this past year. The restoration effort to bring back Bozeman's Boger Pavilion has officially begun. Now the pavilion is still closed, but Bozeman city officials say the winter stabilization effort is mostly complete, having removed the beam that collapsed under last winter's snow. Crews have also installed post shores throughout the structure, making sure it won't fall any further this winter. Now the city is working with a contractor to finalize plans for the full repair in the spring. A program that helps veterans and their families through the holiday season hosted its 10th annual holiday gift event today in Great Falls. Angels in Camo pairs together veterans in need with their sponsors. A sponsor obtains a wish list, then buys and wraps the gifts. Angels in Camo then hosts a Christmas party and invites all the veterans and their families for a night of fun and celebration.
A lot of programs out there for veterans, retired veterans and their wives that are down and out and then maybe forgot about what Christmas was all about. And Angels in Camo kind of fills that void here in Great Falls.
And this year, Angels in Camo helped more than 50 veterans and their families. Still to come on the 9 o'clock news, another Billings rockfall shakes a residence just as the city was trying to protect against it. But first, how's the weather looking, Bob?
Well, Jeanelle, it was a beautiful day across much of eastern Montana. Temperatures getting into the 40s in a few places, but we are looking at several waves of moisture moving in. Could mean more rain and snow across much of Montana. We'll have more about that after the break.